Good morning, students. Welcome to your English Literature live class. Now, today we are going to learn to read a very important and a very nice poem, that is If, which is written by an English poet, Rudyard Kipling. Okay. So, if you look at the title of the poem, it says If. That means this poem consists of a lot of conditions, right? Of conditions which the life lays down in front of us. So it basically is an inspirational poem where you will get to know where the poet, it tells us how to handle different situations in life, because as you know, our life is full of challenges. It is not easy, fine. It is not a cakewalk. It is not a bed of roses. So life, it keeps on throwing challenges at us. It keeps on paving problems on our path. Fine. It keeps on just making our life, making, living tough. But by having challenges in life, it does not mean that we should fold our hands and sit back and just keep on cursing our luck, our destiny, that why are we being given this type of life, while comparing our lives to others. This is not the way of living. Okay. Rather, in such situation, one should just develop an art or skill of living. And what is the skill of living? The skill of living is in having the idea, in having the art to deal with those challenges, to overcome those challenges, how you are going to deal with that particular situation in your life. Okay, you can't just sit back and wait for that period to get over. Rather, you'll have to work upon it. This is the requirement, ultimate requirement for each one of us. Okay, this is the basic necessity for each one of us, that we should have the will, we should have that courage to fight with the circumstances, to fight with the different odds which comes all our way throughout our lives. Okay, because it's not easy every time. Fine. So that is what the poet has tried to throw light on. He has enlisted a lot of ifs. By ifs, he has enlisted a lot of conditions. Okay, which a person goes through in his or her life, and he has also told the way in which we should react, in which we should behave under those circumstances. And if one behaves in such manner, then finally, in the conclusion or towards the end, the poet has told what will be the result if you people behave, if we behave in a certain manner in different conditions, under the different under the pressure, or in the different, or deal with the different challenges which the life throws at us. So in this poem, the poet is addressing all these things to his son. Basically, it is a talk, or it is a kind of teaching. It is didactic in nature. That means it teaches, it gives moral lessons, okay, or philosophical lessons. Any poem which gives to moral lessons or philosophical, spiritual lessons to the reader, that is known as didactic. So this poem is didactic, as the introduction is, and the poet is talking to his son. Okay, while talking to his son, the poet also is giving lessons to the readers, messages to the readers, messages of self-confidence, self-respect, courage, having patience, being humble, being truthful, being honest, okay, being loving. So all these things, having strong willpower, hopefulness, all these things you'll find as you read the poem. Right? So it fills the readers with a lot of positivity, that how you people can develop a positive approach towards your life, how you people can have a positive and optimistic attitude towards your life, how you people can be energetic, how you people can be excited, how you people can handle every situation with a smiling face. Okay, so try to learn the messages, try to learn the lessons which the poet has given through this poem. Because in English literature, if you're reading a poem, then you should not just read for the sake of learning, for the sake of passing the exams, but You people should learn, should imbibe those values or the messages which the poet tries to convey. All right, so it is a good poem, and it is full of lessons. So let us start reading. Yes, Divyanshi, you can read the introduction.
Yes, ma'am. If it's a didactic intending to teach particularly moral lessons to one. It is a sort of letter from a father to his son, advising him and making him realize the importance of imbibing qualities of self-confidence, self-respect, courage, humility, trustfulness, hopefulness, objectivity, and willpower.
All right. So as I already told you that these are the things, these are the messages, or these are the virtues which the poet wants his son to develop, okay, to imbibe in himself. So this is a kind of letter, this is a kind of set of advice or suggestions given by a father to his son, fine, to deal with the different circumstances in life, to deal with different situations in life, fine. Yanshi, read the first stanza.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing there and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies or being hated. Don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise.
All right. So now if you see that the poem is started with the word if only, with the condition. Okay, so in every second line, if you read the poem, you'll find the condition has been given by the poet, and then he has also given the way in which one should behave, in which his son should behave, Athar said properly, in which his son should behave in that particular condition. So the first condition the poet talks about is about having self-confidence. Okay, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. That means if you can keep calm in situations when the others are getting angry, or when the others are getting irritated and they are putting the blame of everything wrong happening in this entire world on you. Okay, you'll come across such situation in life. Everybody comes across such situation in life where the other people, they blame all sorts of wrongdoing on you only. Okay, but then the poet says that his son should not lose his temper, should keep his calm, and should keep his head held high. Okay, that he should not be suppressed. Fine, if he knows that he is right, then he should stand for himself. Okay, and he should trust himself when everybody else is doubting him, when everybody else is apprehensive about him, when nobody when you when you know one wants to when you want to do something, while the other people around you in your surrounding, they say that you can't do. They just don't have faith in you, enough faith in you. They all the time they're just busy in pulling you down. But in that situation, you have to believe in yourself. You have to have self confidence. You just don't have to give way to their negative comments. If you think you're going to do a right thing, and if you think that you are going to you will be able to make it, then you should have trust in yourself. Okay, your behavior or your attitude should not be influenced by the negative people who surround you. Fine, so if you trust yourself and all about you, that means you have to remain positive when the other people are being negative about you. All right, but then the poet says make allowance for their doubting too. That means it's not that you just have to listen to yourself and keep working. It's not like that, but you should also listen to the feedback or the criticism of others. But you'll have to be selectively permeable. That means you will have to filter out the unnecessary comments, the unnecessary criticism, but then you just have to take the constructive criticism, which will help you to improve yourself, which will help you to grow. Because you cannot be right all the time, you cannot be correct all the time. There will be people who will be there to rectify you. So in that manner, the poet has said that you have to make allowance for others doubting. Here by doubting, he means that the criticism or the feedback which the people will be giving you on whatever you'll be doing. Fine. So by listening to those, but you have to be selective. Okay, don't listen to everyone. You will have to choose that which is necessary for you, which is important, which criticism is important, which comments are important, and which all are unnecessary, which all comments are there just to pull you down, just to lower down your confidence. So you have to decide. You will have to be rational on this point of time. Okay, but why is it necessary? Because it will help you to keep a check on your overconfidence. Okay, if you will just think that you are perfect, then you are the most imperfect person. Okay, because nobody is perfect. So you should be always open to criticism, to constructive criticism. Okay, those who criticize you in order to improve you. Fine. So that you should you should have the patience to listen to them. All right. Then if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies. So here by waiting, the poet means that you should not be impulsive. You should not be in a hurry of getting the results, of getting the outcomes of whatever you are doing, of your efforts. You should not be in a hurry. So you have to be patient. Here you can just mention that the virtue of patience has been talked about. Okay, in this line, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, the poet is talking about the virtue of patience. Okay. In the next line, the poet is talking about the virtue of truthfulness. And in the second last line, the poet is talking about the virtue of compassion. And in the last line, the poet is talking about the virtue of humility. Okay. So he says that if you will be patient, you put your efforts, you do your best, you give your best, but you should not be in a hurry to get the results, to get the outcomes, just like that. Okay, you should not be in a hurry. Rather, you should wait and should not be tired by waiting. Even if it gets longer, if it stretches to a long period of time, still you should not be tired of waiting. You should just be satisfied by giving in your 100%. Okay, because that is what matters. Your efforts matter more than your result. All right, so you can just write this line that the poet conveys to the readers that what matters is effort and not the results. All right, so if you can wait by after putting in your efforts, then it will definitely help you later. Or being lied about, don't deal in lies. That means if all the other people around you, they are lying, still you should not indulge in lies. You should not start speaking lies. You should not stop speaking the truth. If you know that something is right and the whole world is saying no, it's wrong, but if you feel that it is right, then you should not change your perspective. Okay, you should stand by the truth. You should bear the flag of truthfulness ever. Even if the whole world is lying, you should not indulge in lies. Right? Then even if the whole world is hating you, even if everybody around you is hating you or is spreading hatred, you should not also start hating. You should not give away the virtue of love. You should not stop believing in the virtue of love. Okay, so by all these things, the poet wants to say that the negativity should not influence, the negativity around you should not influence your behavior, should not influence your attitude towards life, towards people. You should keep your virtues intact, whatever you feel. Fine. And even if after possessing all such virtues, you should not show yourself to be a perfect human being. You should not show off. You should not boast about your virtues. Okay, you should be humble, yet don't look too good nor too wise. Means you should be humble. You should not become arrogant, and should not start looking down upon people by thinking that you are superior to them because you possess all such virtues, because you are kind, you are humble, you are truthful, you are honest. So you should not think that you have become so superior to them. Rather, you should be humble. All right. So I hope the first stanza is clear to you people. We'll stop here. Okay. The rest of the poem we'll do tomorrow. Fine. Thank you.